I know I made a video explaining how memorization is fundamental in learning, but a big mistake is to use memorization for every single thing. Now, memorization alone could take you pretty far. I use memorization purely when learning some concepts in chemical engineering. Okay, so some complicated math, all I did was kind of memorize the pattern to solve a equation or problem, and boom, just kind of spit that out on the test. But when you memorize or when you're quizzed on something that you didn't memorize, then you're stuck because you didn't spend the time to understand all the stuff you were supposed to understand. So for example, math is the best example, I think, above everything else because math is very straightforward, but if you don't understand a concept, you can't move forward and you're going to get everything wrong. So let's say right here, this is a quadratic form. Now, all the math terms I'm going to say, not important, but the ideas behind it, okay? So let's say you do so many problems with this specific form of the equation. I'll zoom in to show you how important it is. This form of the equation, okay? And so you do all these problems, but then one day you get something like this, okay? And since you only memorize the process of only doing this form of the equation, guess what? You have no idea what to do here. And so you stop. You're stuck. Memorization can't help you anymore. Only understanding that, hey, from this, I can get this and vice versa, right? And then if you understand the whole concept, from this, you're able to get the x-intercepts. So if we go down a little bit, you're able to find out the different points where the graph intersects the x-axis. So the idea here is, memorization can take you pretty far. Maybe you get a lot of equations on the test or problems that have this form. Great, you can solve them. But if you get something like this and you never actually took the time to understand it, then you're stuck and there's not much you can do. You can't figure this out if you never understood the concept behind it and what it represents and what it means and how that looks on the graph, all these other things. Because you can purely use memory techniques to memorize, okay, this, oh yeah, I do X, Y, and Z, or I can use the quadratic formula, whatever it may be. Yes, you can memorize those things, but you need to be able to understand it. And a lot of people, there's two sides of the coin. One side is people like, hey, I can just memorize everything and get through. And in math class, I kid you not, people would only, memorize the process of this form of equation. But when they got something like this, or even the x's became, z's or something, they got totally confused about what is happening. I was only used to x's. All of a sudden we have like b's, a's, and all these other things. And so they have no idea what's going on anymore. And so it is a real thing. So that's one side of the coin. Memorize everything. The other side is, memorization really doesn't help you. You're not learning anything from memorizing. But that video I made on Sunday, shows you that memorization does play an important role. And so it's important to find the balance between the two. Memorizing some things, but also understanding the fundamental parts of what you're doing. And so it's a huge mistake. I just want to recap. It's a huge mistake to try to memorize everything because yes, it could take you, X distance, but once you get to a problem, once you get to an idea that is outside of that you did not memorize, then you're stuck. So hopefully you enjoyed this video and I'll see you next time.